Hey everyone, ready to dive into a super cool career?
Let's do it.
Today we're all about becoming a motor vehicle engine tester.
Oh, yeah, those are the folks who put all kinds of engines through the paces. Diesel, petrol, gas, you name it.
We've got a ton of great info to help you nail that interview.
We're talking career guides, interview tips, and even a sneak peek at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a serious advantage.
By the end of this, you'll know exactly what to say and how to say it to really wow those interviewers.
And you know what's really fascinating about this field?
What's that?
It's changing so fast. It's not just your classic gas guzzlers anymore.
Right. Electric vehicles, hybrids, all that cool tech is taking over.
Exactly. As a motor vehicle engine tester, you're not just working on cars, you're shaping the future of the whole industry.
Okay, so let's jump right into those interview questions.
Let's do it.
Our sources have given us some amazing insights into what those interviewers are really looking for.
We're going to break it all down for you.
All right, first up, a classic question. What experience do you have in the motor vehicle industry?
Now you might be thinking, wait, I'm just starting out. But here's the thing. Any hands-on experience counts.
Yeah, the guide really emphasized that.
Even if it's not directly related to engine testing, anything that shows you're passionate and willing to learn is a huge plus.
So like rebuilding an engine with your dad or helping a friend fix their brakes, those count, right?
Absolutely. Those are gold. They show you've got mechanical aptitude, you can solve problems, and you genuinely love cars.
The guide even mentions volunteering at car shows or being part of racing clubs.
It's all about showing that you're interested and involved in the automotive world.
And I bet interviewers often ask follow-up questions based on what you share.
Oh, for sure. They might want to dig deeper into a specific project you mentioned.
So be ready to explain those technical details in a way that's clear and easy to understand.
That's key.
Question number 2. What are the most common engine issues you have come across?
Now, this one might feel a bit intimidating.
Yeah, but the guide says it's all about showing off your technical knowledge.
Exactly. Don't just give them generic answers like engine overheating.
Right, be specific.
Mention things like faulty spark plugs, clogged fuel injectors, or worn piston rings.
Ooh, getting technical.
Mm.
But it's important to not just list those issues.
You got to be able to explain what causes them, how they affect the engine's performance, and what steps you'd take to diagnose them.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Oh, yeah, that's a game changer.
They have this awesome feature where you type in your answer and the AI analyzes it.
It tells you if you're using the right level of detail for that specific job.
And get this, it even suggests potential follow-up questions the interviewer might ask.
Talk about being prepared. It's like having an interview expert right in your pocket.
All right, question number 3. What testing methods do you use to assess engine performance?
Now this is your chance to shine.
Time to show off your knowledge of the tools and techniques.
Absolutely. This is where you can drop some industry standard terms.
But make sure you can actually explain them.
Exactly. You could talk about dynamometer testing, which measures power output, or emissions testing to check how clean the exhaust is.
And don't forget about specialized software for data analysis.
Oh, yeah. Things like ECU diagnostics.
That's some serious tech talk, but you explained it so well. It shows that even if you're just starting out, you can impress them by doing your research.
Research is key.
The guide emphasizes understanding the benefits and limitations of each testing method.
Right. Like you could say dynamometer testing is great for measuring horsepower, but it doesn't perfectly replicate real-world driving.
That shows a deeper understanding for sure.
And don't forget about electric motors and batteries.
Oh yeah, those are becoming super important.
Be sure to mention your familiarity with those testing methods, too.
Okay, question number 4. How do you ensure that testing equipment is calibrated and maintained properly?
This is all about precision and quality control.
It might seem like a small detail, but it's crucial for getting accurate results.
Think of it like a doctor sterilizing their instruments. You wouldn't want a doctor who skips that step right.
That's a great analogy. So what should people mention in their answer?
Talk about specific procedures you follow.
Like regular checks, calibration logs, and sticking to those manufacturer guidelines.
Exactly. And a good system for documentation and record keeping is key.
You don't want to be fumbling around trying to remember when you last calibrated something.
Right. It shows you're organized, detail-oriented, and you take quality seriously.
I bet interviewers also ask about times when equipment malfunctioned.
Oh yeah, that's a common one. They want to see how you handle those tricky situations.
So be ready to explain how you troubleshoot problems and think on your feet.
Problem solving is a must-have skill in this field.
All right, on to question number 5. What is your approach to troubleshooting engine issues?
This is where you get to be a detective.
I love this one. It's all about showing off those problem-solving skills.
Think of yourself as the Sherlock Holmes of engines.
So how should we approach this question?
Explain how you gather information, analyze symptoms, perform tests, and use logic to find the root cause of the problem.
It's about having a systematic approach,
Yeah.
a sharp eye for detail, and that critical thinking mindset.
And don't forget to mention the specific tools you use.
Right, like an OBD2 scanner, a multimeter, a compression tester, all those cool gadgets.
The guide suggests using a real-life example to illustrate your process.
A good story always helps. Have you ever tackled a particularly tough engine issue?
Pick a story that shows off your analytical thinking, your persistence, and your ability to find solutions.
And be prepared for follow-up questions like, what did you learn from that experience?
Interviewers love those follow-ups.
Moving on to question number 6. How do you ensure that you stay up to date with industry developments and advancements?
This is all about showing that you're a lifelong learner.
That you're curious and always looking to expand your knowledge.
Exactly. Talk about the industry journals you read, the conferences you attend, or the online forums you participate in.
You could mention specific examples of how you've applied new knowledge to your work.
Like, hey, I recently learned about this new diagnostic technique for electric vehicle batteries, and I'm excited to try it out.
That shows you're not just passively reading stuff.
Yeah.
You're actively seeking ways to improve.
And be ready for the interviewer to ask about a recent industry development that you found interesting.
They want to see if you're genuinely passionate about the field.
Passion is key.
All right, let's tackle question number 7. How do you prioritize and manage your workload?
This is a big one, especially in a fast-paced environment where you're juggling multiple projects.
It's all about organization time management and setting priorities.
Mention the tools you use to stay on top of things.
To-do lists, calendars, project management software, all those organizational lifesavers.
And don't forget about communication.
Right. Explain how you keep your team in the loop about your progress, any roadblocks you encounter, and when you expect to finish tasks.
And be sure to emphasize your ability to adapt to changing priorities.
Because in the world of engine testing, things can change in a heartbeat.
Flexibility is essential. Okay, ready for question number 8.
Hit me with it.
Can you explain a time when you had to troubleshoot a particularly challenging engine issue?
Oh, time to shine again. This is your chance to showcase those problem-solving superpowers.
Choose a story that really highlights your skills.
Maybe you had an engine that was acting totally weird, and you had to use all your knowledge to crack the case.
Or maybe you had to come up with a super creative solution to a really tricky problem.
The guide emphasizes that it's not just about the outcome, but about your thought process.
Walk the interviewer through your steps, explain your reasoning, and don't be afraid to mention any setbacks you faced along the way.
It shows you're resilient, and you learn from your mistakes.
And you know what can help you fine-tune your answer?
What's that?
RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, yeah. Their AI feedback is amazing.
You type in your story, and the AI will analyze it for clarity and relevance to the job.
It can even suggest ways to make your story more engaging and impactful.
It's like having a personal storytelling coach. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, but we still got more to explore.
Right. The career path of a motor vehicle engine tester is super dynamic with lots of opportunities for growth and advancement.
And RoleCatcher's AI can help you every step of the way.
But we'll dive into all of that after a quick break, so still tuned for more insights and tips to help you conquer that interview.
We'll be right back. We're back and ready to keep this engine running. We left off talking about how this career can really take you places.
It's not just a job, it's a launch pad.
Exactly. You could move up to lead a whole team of testers or manage an entire testing lab.
Or even transition into designing and developing engines.
The possibilities are endless.
RoleCatcher had some great advice about building a portfolio to showcase your work.
Oh yeah, that's a must-have.
It's like a highlight reel of your skills and projects.
You can include detailed reports on engine tests, you've done data analysis presentations you've given.
It's all about showing what you're capable of, beyond just a resume.
And speaking of going above and beyond, the guide also mentions professional organizations.
Like the Society of Automotive Engineers.
Joining those groups is a fantastic way to network, attend events, and stay on top of the latest trends.
Okay, so back to those interview questions. We left off on number 8.
Right, so number 9 is, how do you ensure you adhere to safety regulations and guidelines when testing engines?
This one's all about showing you're a safety pro.
You gotta know those protocols like the back of your hand.
Wearing the right protective gear, identifying potential hazards, being proactive about safety. It's all crucial.
The guide really emphasized understanding the why behind those safety rules.
It's not just about checking boxes, it's about keeping yourself and everyone around you safe.
Exactly. And be ready for them to ask about a time you had to address a safety concern during a test.
That's a great chance to share a specific example of how you put safety first.
All right, last but not least, question number 10. How do you communicate engine issues to clients or colleagues in a clear and concise manner?
Communication is key.
Especially when you're dealing with technical stuff.
You got to be able to explain those complex concepts in a way that everyone understands.
So use clear language, avoid jargon, and consider using visual aids like diagrams.
Remember, you might be talking to engineers, mechanics, or even clients who don't have a technical background.
Right. The guide recommends tailoring your communication style to your audience.
You wouldn't talk to a seasoned mechanic the same way you'd explain something to someone who just brought their car in for a checkup.
And be ready to give an example of a time you had to explain a complex issue to someone who wasn't a technical expert.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground with those interview questions. But before we move on, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh yeah, that AI is seriously impressive.
It's not just about tailoring your resume. It can help you fine-tune your interview answers, too.
That AI feedback feature is like having a personal interview coach.
It analyzes your responses checks for clarity and even suggests ways to make them more impactful.
And the best part is it's customized for specific job roles.
So the feedback you get is super relevant to the position you're applying for.
If you're serious about acing that interview, definitely check out RoleCatcher's AI.
Now, before we send you off to conquer that interview, let's take a moment to think about the big picture.
The automotive industry is changing rapidly, and so is the world of engine testing.
Electric vehicles, autonomous driving, all that exciting tech is transforming how we think about cars.
It's a really exciting time to be in this field. But it also means you got to be adaptable and always keep learning.
The guide mentioned that too, right?
Yeah, the skills that are in high demand today might be totally different in a few years.
So it's not just about mastering what's out there now. It's about staying curious and being ready to embrace new challenges.
Exactly. Think about it. Just a few years ago, engine testing was all about combustion engines.
Right. But now, with electric vehicles taking off, you need to know about battery tech, power electronics, software integration.
That's a whole new world.
And it's not just about those hard technical skills either. The guide also talked about the importance of soft skills.
Oh yeah, things like communication, collaboration, problem solving.
Those are essential in any field, but they're super important in a fast-paced industry like this one.
Where teamwork and adaptability are key.
So for everyone out there who's ready to dive into this awesome career, remember this. Your passion for engines, your willingness to learn, and your ability to adapt those are your biggest assets.
Couldn't agree more. Embrace the challenges, stay curious, and never stop pushing the limits.
The future of cars is being shaped right now, and as a motor vehicle engine tester, you can be a part of it.
What a cool thought.
All right, so let's recap. We've covered those 10 essential interview questions. We've explored the amazing career path ahead of you, and we've even seen how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a real advantage in the job market.
We hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and the confidence to nail that interview.
And to launch a successful career as a motor vehicle engine tester.
Absolutely.
Remember, we're always here to support you on your journey. If you have any questions or want to share your experiences, feel free to reach out.
Best of luck with your interview. We're rooting for you.
Until next time, happy testing, everyone.
Yeah.